Hi Mortgage Heroes, Andy Cruz here in Business Development, and this is Monday Mortgage Minute. Welcome back to a new week. Yes, it is Monday Mortgage Minute on a Tuesday, and here's what's coming up this week. First things first, it's a short week, so there's not going to be a lot of data this week on a shortened trading week that's going to impact the markets, but there are a few things that we're starting to look at that are going to change maybe the landscape of what's coming up moving ahead. The first thing I want to talk about today is you're starting to see the reaction to the Fed meeting minutes that were released last week. Now, as we've been talking about, the Fed is determined to tamp down inflation kind of no matter what that looks like, and that even means going beyond what would be taken as a neutral position. Now, what that means for us in the short term is that there's going to be a concerted effort to slow down the increasing price of goods and services, and that might come at the detriment of slowing things down economically. Now, on one hand, what we already see happening is rising mortgage rates as a result, but on the other, is there a case to be made that this eventually could lead to reduced mortgage rates later? The answer to that is likely yes. Now, hang with me just for a second. Let me explain that. Now, if the Federal Reserve's goal here is to tamp down inflation as quick as possible and as hard as possible, it sounds like they're going to do that kind of no matter what the cost is. Now, that cost also does have a consequence. For every cost of the Fed decision, there's a consequence. Now, the consequence of this is they're going to slow down lending on the consumer side to such a degree that the only way to speed it back up again is to get money moving through the system. The only way to get money moving through the system again is to make it more appetizing to borrowers. It needs to be cheaper to lend and to borrow money. So in that case, we could see in the future here, maybe in 3 months, 6 months, maybe 9 or 12, not exactly sure, but if you just kind of follow the ebb and flow, the law of supply and demand, you look at what the Fed's doing yesterday and what we have to deal with today as a result, and then what we're dealing with today as a result, and what the causality of that might be, it's realistic to think that there will be a point in the future where rates have to come down because they're bringing everything to a screeching halt right now in a variety of lending facets and across the financial institutions. Remember, banks and the institutions that we rely on, they only make money by lending that money out. So if that money comes under a lot of supply pressure and there's not enough of it moving, then it creates other problems in our system and our economy that we have to address and look at and go, okay, well, how do we now rebalance that? So I think by going real hard on inflation right now, we're going to see a situation where down the road, the Fed has to make a rate decision that's going to ease financial monetary policy again in order to get money flowing back into the system. And that's for all things: credit cards, car loans, lines of credit, and even your mortgage loans, and even other types of debt that people take on. I think we're in a situation where it's kind of darned if you do, darned if you don't. And right now we're in that darned if you do situation where they have to take some sort of policy measure, and that's going to create some difficulty right now, but hopefully for only a short period of time. And then they're going to eventually have to course correct even this decision later and make things a little bit easier so money can flow in the system. And that is how I think that maybe moving down the line, we're going to see a lower interest rate environment ahead. We have to be honest about the idea that there's an appetite for where people borrow and where they don't, as far as the cost of money is concerned. It'd be naive for us to say it's only one way all the time when it's not. And yes, there's ebbs and flows in the market. There's always people moving because of a situation or a scenario that would require them to move up or move lateral or move down and downsize, or even move out of a state or into another one. But the truth remains is that when given a choice, people are going to choose to make a financial situation better for themselves when it is cheaper to do so. And I think that's really where we're going at with this in the long term. So even though things might look a certain way right now, and maybe your scenario requires you to make some choices right now today, those choices being made today need to be made within the context of what might be coming later. So even though you may be a little dissatisfied with the choice you have to make currently, look at the horizon a little bit. Look down the future, especially if you're in a place that you're planning on living at for at least 5, 10, 15 years. What we're looking at right now is not where we're going to stay. So I wanted to give some hope and encouragement real quick to you who are watching this thinking, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't do this right now, or I can't do this right now. Just take a step back and look at all the factors that we've been talking about over these last few weeks and see that at a certain point down the line, there will be a course correction even for the things that we're course correcting in right now. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Please feel free to share this with someone you know, like, and trust. And if we can help you in any way, please leave a comment, send us a direct message, email your loan officer, give us a call here at the office. Let us know how we can help you win in mortgage and real estate in 2022. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.